call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Superintendent Daly, member changes for this evening?
Update to personnel.
Okay, thank you very much. My knuckles, thank you.
You want to see if it still works? Batteries in.
Moving on to board president comments. Welcome to a new year, new cycle. I can't believe that it's come upon us so quickly. I want to take a moment to thank everybody for the participation in not only the lockdown we had a few weeks ago. I know that these things are trained for, but when you actually have one of these situations, executing the way that everybody did was outstanding, and I want to thank each and every one of you on behalf of the board for your professional actions and looking out for the best interests and safety of our students. As I was reflecting on what I might say tonight, beginning the new school year, I took a moment to look back on my school career. It was a year further back than usual, but the one thing that came up in review of my experiences was what teachers did for me, and it was mostly the little things, or the slow burners that sneak up on you, and when you're in the moment, you don't realize the impact that they will have on you, but they change your life. For instance, in this one, 10th grade social studies taught me the art of debate. Now, as a 10th grader, being told by a teacher that we're going to teach you how to debate different topics, it's like, well, what do you mean? I'm right, you're wrong. Have a nice day. I win. But the actual art of debate and taking on and actually advocating a position that you don't necessarily believe in for the purpose of understanding it a little bit better was something that kind of slow burned me. In the moment, I thought we were just doing a thing, but it was something that, to this day, I remember. And then there's second grade English class, where I learned that words mean things. And how did I do that? English teacher taught us how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You would think that's benign, but he stood in front of the class and just said, oh, here are the ingredients here, I know tell you what to do. We fed for almost 40 minutes and made a mess in the classroom. But that was one of those things when words mean things. To this day, made an impression. So as you enter into the school year, remember every day, each and every day, when you talk to a student, no matter how small the interaction, no matter how large, you change their lives. And I want to thank you for your impact to our future students and our future citizens. And the board president comments. Moving on to points of interest.
One.
Ms. Guys.
Not necessarily directly Gates Child Life, but involving a lot of our Gates Child Life students that attended the Gates Junior Fire Academy a few weeks ago for Gates Fire and combined with Child Life Fire. It was really nice to see them working hard and having Gates PD, Gates Ambulance all present. They got to see how the community works in emergency response firsthand. And Gates Child Life provided the meals through their lunch program, which was really nice. Very nice run program and well collaborated through the district and community.
Thank you for sharing. Any points of interest? Okay. Moving on to report meetings. Mr. Scott.
I had the opportunity to meet with Congressman Morelli. We decided to start early as much as we could, meeting with our federal representatives to talk about issues that are coming up. And, we talked about, excuse me, Title I staffing, money. Still waiting for the federal government to provide the money they promised. Teacher pipeline, digital divide, so we got a chance to bring up some of these issues with them. We also talked about the food situation. I tried to encourage them that we really needed to extend the free meals as much as we could. I mean, it's not so much people have gotten used to it, but it just provides such a great service to our community. I did mention to them that, we do it during the summer, that our Spartan East bus goes out to the town sites and things that provide meals there, and that we served well over 1 million meals, I think in the last school year. So we'll have to wait and see, and now right now he's in full campaign mode, so until the election's over, not sure how accessible he's going to be, but we'll keep at it. Our Monroe County Legislative Committee doesn't meet until September, where we'll set up our agenda, and one of them is, of course, to meet with our state reps before they get too busy. So we're well into it. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Any other important meetings? Yep, we're going to move on to specific comments. Do
Do you have any help?
Okay. Motion to pause the meeting until after conducting a public hearing on the code of conduct. Motion, please. Mr. Bailey and Dr. Richards, all in favor? Vote is unanimous. We can open the hearing now.
Okay. Each year, we have to hold a hearing for our code of conduct and character updates. We met with our constituents in July, represented by the different unions as well, and it was feedback from students too. So the changes for this year, on page 6 to 7, we've changed essential partners. The titles reached to having to must do the following to the responsibility, trying to make the document a little more friendly and accessible to all. On page 8, for visitors, we have removed until further notice the following paragraph that is listed there, since it no longer applies. Ironically, on page 11, ways we communicate with families, email was not included. So we thought that'd be important to include there. On page 14, we had limits on what kids could wear outside for gym and then for phys ed and then recess. We removed outdoor recess. If you want to wear Crocs and run around on our playground, please do. And so we updated that to adapt for our elementary primarily was the recommendation. On page 15, the middle school asked to remove once a locker has been assigned there to be secured in their lockers during the instructional day unless permission is granted for instructional purpose. They're not requiring the students to leave them in their lockers at the middle school. They have not been, so no point in having it sit there. And then for conduct that is insubordinate on page 17, remove refusing to wear a face mask when required. This section was able to be removed. Most districts, if not all, have already gone to do this as well. And then under conduct that is disorderly or disruptive, at the top of that page, it says that if you're using or carrying a cell phone, it could be disorderly and disruptive. We have changed that to using cell phone, unless with permission. Carrying it is not disruptive. So just updating that. We're not enforcing it the way it was written, so we adapted it to be used for the way it is written. And then under reporting violations, updating the last sentence in the third paragraph to read the following, to make it so that it is what we do and have been doing all along. And so just adapting it to what is the practice. We'll click eventually. Or not. Oh, there we go. And under page 24, it just lists the only detention is lunch detention. So we removed lunch and just have detention listed. It could be before, it could be at lunch, it could be after. And so just making it so it makes sense. And then under page 24 as well, under suspension from transportation, remove referencing to masking on the bus. Since it is not a requirement, it is an option. And then throughout the document, something that was suggested by our equity committee was looking at how we refer to individuals within it and changing it from he, she to they, them, their to be more inclusive of all students that we have. And so that was done throughout the document on multiple pages. So those are the changes that the Code of Conduct Committee recommended for this year.
Any public comment? Any public- Nope, nope.
Thank you. Happy August. Tina Carney, 30 Everett Drive. Not sure if those protocols apply, but might as well, right? Okay. Some questions. Superintendent, you mentioned in July that you met with stakeholder groups, unions. Curious to know if you also met with other stakeholder groups such as parents, students, PTOs, things like that.
Students were consulted prior to that.
Which students? Like of high school students? Okay. So not middle school and not elementary. Okay. High school students were consulted. Thank you. And parents or guardians?
Parents that were on parent groups were asked at previous meetings for any updates they might receive. They were not at that meeting, because the one that's required to be met with the unions prior to the
Interesting. Okay. I attend many of the parent meetings and I don't remember this coming up. That's why I asked. And my other question, I think the district improvement team was going to look at the code of conduct maybe through a BOCES administrator or through that lens and looking through, is that still happening or planning for this year? We didn't get to it.
So we're hoping to do this.
For this year, right? Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Any other public comment? Okay. I'm going to close the hearing. Motion to resume the public meeting. Motion, please. Mr. Long, Ms. Kais, all in favor? The vote is unanimous. Thank you very much. Moving on to discussion items, student ex officio for 20, 23, 24 year. Oh. Did I miss something? Motion to resume. Okay, who motioned? So I closed. I had a motion to resume. You agreed to it. So I think I got it. Okay, resume the meeting. May I resume? Sorry. Okay. Student ex officio, 2023 to 24.
Hi, guys.
We're going to discuss bringing in a student on the board for next year.
Actually, it would be for the year after.
Sorry.
So the process would be, we're already talking to high school. Policy, we would develop a policy for how that position would interact with the board. Basically, some districts have had this. It's a position that every 2 years is called peer review. The person would be elected by their peers at the high school for a 1-year term, if approved by the public in the spring on our May budget vote. They would be a non-voting member of the board. Some districts have them report 1 out of the 2 meetings a month to the board on what's going on with the students in the district. Some have both. We'll figure that out after our policy work. But the idea of having more student voice is always a good thing. And we started talking to high school about what that would look like in the spring election time. But he asked the public to support it. We just have to do that for 2 years. We're talking to Sarah Bisengard, and she'll work with us on that. Could be one.
Be a part of executive session.
They are not a part of it.
This is definitely something I've advocated for a couple of years, and I do have some resources from the conference that we want to use more information. Based out of Washington, I think that's good for them.
We instituted it in my previous district as well. And it was
member and then a junior member. And then one moves on and what the seniors do and it's elected the juniors, so they kind of get an idea of how it works and taking the lead, building a leadership.
Yeah, the law that applies to it, everything is singular, student, 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 nothing, implied, and also it has to be a senior,
That's the senior council for your.
in New York State. Yeah, what's interesting is the Board of Education in 1968 unilaterally created the positions, and they appointed kids at the organizational meeting. Sometimes there were two, but there was no state requirement, there was no state law. Then around 2005, it changed. I'm not sure why, but another good example, the state legislature decided that they just didn't like what we were doing, so. So that, yep. So would we follow up with the students in the fall, at their, or whenever their student council elections are, or we wait, what are we gonna do? Okay.
So, is there anything that the board is looking for? I mean, how do we know that we're being successful in this action?
I think it needs to be a student driven decision on who they're selecting in that position.
Right.
And I mean, I think that we need to really, once we have students interested, have them help us put the framework in what their expectations are too, so we're not just wasting our time on these that that have a voice that matters, not necessarily a voting voice, because that's something, but, we'll have to kind of know.
I would absolutely be interested in the framework, what is the goal, what is the opportunity, what is the goal, your side, making sure it's not just two things. But I would love to see some framework around the work into the areas that has to be what the purpose, the function, how to assess that.
It would also make sense for us to assess all of our work in the district's work of our goals for the year. That if there's goals that, the goals that impact students directly that they can see, that they're able to bring feedback and suggestions and what they see at their level of day-to-day of our progress towards those goals, because they're designed to impact students' daily life and success of learning.
So, is this something that we have a subcommittee take a look at to pull together at some point in time before we start to enact it further to help develop these?
My previous experience, Joe, was going to policy committee first, meeting with the board, and then our version of the ad hoc took it over once policy is implemented. If the board wants to have another committee,
If you should be talking about the district.
My next recommendation would have been maybe the ad hoc committee can take it.
Get the policy established and
Right,
everything, and then
yeah.
go from there. Yeah. And we do have until May of
Right.
2023,
Right.
So one advantage or disadvantage depending on your perspective. I guess.
Right.
Any other points of discussion on this item? Okay, hearing none. Moving on.
I did have a question. Do we know, have we, and maybe we haven't, maybe one point that we could do is also to check with the high school to see if we have students who are being interested. I mean, we want to make sure that there is interest, right? But
Mhm.
from amongst the high school students, so that, I guess that's a valid point too.
And I think part of that would be once we have an idea of what it is.
Right, to be able to share
position
that out.
looks like, making sure they know too. I think that
Right.
kind of has to go hand in hand.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you very much. Any other items? Okay, we're going to move on to new school nutrition system rollout.
Something that I asked to be added on here, and I do understand that, to have a full conversation with them, may require further meeting with the finance and facilities
Anybody have an opinion on that? Further discussion?
Yeah, I think that it's certainly, I would suggest it could be moved to the finance facility and audit committee, since it is something that this is a contract the board approved, and it did go through the finance audit committee itself. So if we missed something or misunderstood something at that level, then we need to go back and revisit, what we discussed at that time, and then come back to the board with a recommendation. I mean, Terry's point is, what do we do with this fee? Whether it's too high or too low or whatever, may not be within totally our control. Remember, we are contracting with a third party here, so, and they set their own policies and guidelines and everything else, but there may be some options that we haven't really looked at. So I think going back to the Facilities, Finance, and Audit Committee with Dr. Paul's input and Mr. Daly's input would give us a solid basis of making a recommendation to the board as to what we think should happen. So that would be just a case, I guess, if you could make a motion to move it to the committee.
Okay, so any other discussion at this point, other than to make a motion to the finance, to move this to the Finance and Facility Committee?
I do know that in Chris's response to the question, he did say that there is an option for students to bring cash or check in that could avoid this, and I don't know if that's a really well-known way for people to go around that fee, that we can get it out there, that might be a little bit to help quell that fear of that fee. And I do know that we used Pay Plus last year, the last several years, that allowed us to load accounts electronically that would not be associated with it. So I do know that there are benefits of why we moved to the system that didn't have to do the system.
And again,
A lot of positives there too.
so people understand too, is that we should not have been covering that fee previously, that was the previous one, because we do have other options, and so we can't do a gift of public funds with this fee that they assess, but we will discuss that at Facility and Finance. But every time there was a transaction on the previous one, the district was paying for that. And so, and we all know as the board that the food service has to break even or be net zero at the end of the year, and we were in the red other than when we got help from the federal government of the year that they paid for all the meals. So, but we'll definitely bring that back and then go through everything and make a recommendation back to the board.
Okay. So we have a motion to move this to Finance and Facility. Motion, please. Mr. Bailey, Mr. Moscato, all in favor? The vote is unanimous. We're moving this to committee, Finance and Facility. Moving on, motion to approve the consensus agenda. A motion, please. Dr. Richards, Ms. Littlewood, questions or comments? All in favor? Thank you very much. The consensus agenda is approved. Motion to approve consensus items B through I. Motion, please. Mr. Moscato, Ms. Kynes, questions or comments? Is that all in favor? The vote is unanimous. Ms. Parado, nothing this evening?
Oh, well, we don't have any retirees, but we have some new staff.
We have some new hires.
Hires, Joe.
Yeah, Charles Robinson, our new assistant principal at the middle school, and Terry Mark, our new coordinator of student and staff success. Welcome.
Welcome.
No comments?
We're thrilled they're here. There's the comment.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome aboard to the Gage Child Light team. Okay. We'll move on, so you don't have to speak for too long, right, at all. Motion to approve the RFP for vending rights agreement with the contract to be awarded to Crickler Vending Company, option 2 per the attached memo. Motion, please. Ms. Littlewood, Ms. Coffey, questions or comments? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Thank you very much. Moving on to superintendent comments.
You got it? All right. I don't want to try clicking it because I failed miserably. Well, we want to welcome our new assistant principal at the middle school, Mr. Charles Robinson, and our new coordinator of student and staff success, Mrs. Terry Marsh, who will be joining us shortly as they finish up their commitments in their current districts. We're very excited. They rose to the top through an extensive process, and we're just thrilled to add them to our team. But a big thank you right now to all our hiring committees led by Ms. Parado and Dr. Vasquez. We have been in full mode since we got out of school, and the job that Ms. Parado and Dr. Vasquez are doing leading our hiring committees and getting people on board is truly impressive. This place is humming every day with new Spartans coming on board. We're excited for our new staff orientation, which will be on August 23rd for all our new hires. Our new instructional staff will be in for 2 more days after that of training on the 24th and 25th. If all our hires are available, since some still do have commitments to their previous districts or other positions, we will have over 140 new members added to the Spartan family at the start of the year. So a lot of hiring going on. As you came onto campus tonight, you'll see that the high school parking lot is really coming along. It will be a huge help. Tonight we had to make sure we had people here to allow people to be able to get into the board meeting, because hosting track meets and basketball games and stuff on the turf and in the pack, our buildings are being used, which is exactly why we have made them this way. But that high school parking lot, when it does come online, is going to be a big help for events at nights like tonight. I'd like to thank Mr. Olin and his team and the administrators and staff and our students that committed to learn together this summer. Our summer school has been a tremendous success. The different programs we've had on campus and off campus have engaged our students and helped them continue to learn and have fun learning. Our staff have just gone over everything with the kids and made it, my favorite part is seeing all the pictures of the staff getting hugs from the kids' smiles, and seeing the smiles as they're participating and having fun while learning. So the program that that was put together also with Mr. DeJong's team has allowed all our students that participated to have fun, learn, and be ready to come back for the fall. And then our food service staff. A reminder that our summer meals program will be running through this Friday. Our amazing team has served our students and community extremely well. From the Spartan Eats bus that goes out in the community to the meals in the morning and at lunch for all the students that participate on our campuses. We can't thank our hardworking nutritional staff enough, who served well over 1 million free meals to the students in our community since March of 2020. With My School Bucks, we want to reiterate the changes to our school nutrition for this upcoming year, and we have switched to My School Bucks for online payments and deposits to student meal accounts. Parents and students can still send in check. Well, kids, if they send checks, that'd be impressive. But they can still send cash and checks in and not incur the assessment fee that is part of it currently. Want to encourage our community again to use another outreach that we've used to our community to get good food with Food Links Curbside Market. It will be here again this Thursday for this month from 3:30 to 4:30 in our high school bus loop. Just bring your grocery bag and load up on fresh fruit and veggies. Several different payment methods are accepted by them. We received some great news about our outstanding art teacher at Disney, Mrs. Kelly Hanning, who's been recognized by the New York State Art Teachers Association as the Region 2 Art Educator of the Year. We're very proud of her. She is just a rock star and does a great job with our students. Homecoming Hall of Fame. Very, very excited to announce that Homecoming Week this year will be September 19th to 23rd. Our homecoming football game will be on the 23rd, as well as the induction of our latest class of the Gates Child Life Hall of Fame. Dr. Irving's looking a little tired as he's getting ready to greet all our athletes back, just a wee bit. August 20th, varsity and JV football start. The 22nd, all our JV and varsity sports. On the 29th, our modified football and cheerleading, and then September 6th, all other modified sports. It's amazing to see the great off-season work our teams are putting in with their coaches, Our weight room over there is used all the time. There's people on campus, the track's being used constantly. And then leaving at the end of the day and seeing the great job the track program that is utilizing this summer, seeing all these kids engaged has been great. And then seeing the people out on the turf having a lot of fun. It's just been great to see our facilities used so well. Something I was really excited to see that Dr. Irving shared with me is that we are eligible to add girls flag football in the spring. We're going to be gauging interest as a sport. It's been recognized at the state level. The NFL is currently covering costs. And as this evolves, we're hopeful that if we do have enough interest that we could be one of the newer teams to join this and give another opportunity to our student athletes. So I would be remiss if I didn't stop and allow Mr. Long to start the singing of happy birthday to Mrs. Littlewood, since it's her birthday. Yeah. Mike nominated you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Littlewood. Happy birthday to you. All right. All right. Then we also have to wish a happy anniversary to Dr. Richards. You know, I had trouble coming back from Jamaica because I didn't want to come back, and I don't blame you. It's all right. But big thank you to all our administration, faculty, staff, and students in our great Gates Police Department. When we had a very trying day, the execution of our safety plans worked well. We learned some areas that we can improve upon, which is good, but you develop these plans and hope you never have to use them. When instituted, they worked very well. The support from the police department was outstanding. And our leadership and staff did extremely well in keeping our kids safe. And we can't thank, again, the police department enough. Their accessibility and their professionalism is second to none. And then most importantly, I'm so excited. Less than a month, our students will be back. It's nice in the summer to get a quick break, but it's great to get the kids back. And I'm excited to see them start to trickle in with fall sports. And as we start doing orientations for new students coming to the district, and then eventually having our opening day with them. So it's an exciting time. It's a crazy time. Our registrar is working overtime with kids coming from families coming in, and then placing them in our great buildings with our great staff. So it's exciting, and again, we're just thrilled with everything as it's going, and can't thank all of you enough for committing to another year of supporting our district. So that is my report, sir.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Bailey. Before we move on, I just wanted to apologize to Ms. Coffey. When we were discussing I realized that I was having a small panic attack trying to figure out what did I do wrong? And I kind of puckered up and realized that I might have been projecting on you, and I know, right? Thank you. And I apologize for that. So with that, I would like to say motion to adjourn the.
No. Do a quick executive session.
Oh, quick executive session. Motion for the board to enter into a quick executive session to. There's nothing here, so I have to.
Discuss the employment.
Yes. Particular individual. Yes. Mr. Bailey, Ms. Littlewood, all in favor? We are moving into executive session.
Chris?